Hello, third grade, and welcome to our first lesson of math. We're going to be going over topic one, lesson one today. So topic one talks about relating multiplication and addition. So first, before we get started in our book, we're going to go over some examples that are available online through your online login to the curriculum. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go to relating multiplication and addition. And we're going to go through and listen to some of the examples and questions that they have. Let's skip to the very beginning.
How can you find the total number of objects in equal groups? Think about this question during the lesson. Jessie used 3 bags to bring home the goldfish she won at a fun fair. She put the same number of goldfish in each bag. How many goldfish did she win? Let's find out. How many goldfish do you see in each bag?
Select your answer.
There are 8 goldfish in each bag. How can counters help to show groups? The counters show 3 groups of 8 goldfish.
I can use counters to show the groups.
You can use addition to join equal groups. There are 3 bags with 8 goldfish in each bag. Eight plus 8 plus 8 equals 24. Jessie won 24 goldfish. The addition relates to the counters because it shows adding 3 groups of 8. Multiplication is an operation that gives the total number when you join equal groups. The bar diagram shows 3 bags of goldfish with 8 goldfish in each bag. How can this be written using multiplication? There are 3 groups or bags with 8 goldfish in each bag. So 3 times 8 equals 24. Factors are the numbers that are being multiplied. The first factor, 3, represents the 3 groups, or bags. The second factor, 8, represents the 8 goldfish in each bag. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem. The product in this equation is the total number of goldfish Jessie won, or 24 goldfish. Let's see how to show an addition equation and a multiplication equation. 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals what number? 3 times 8 equals what number? The question mark represents an amount that is not yet known in both equations. An unknown is a symbol for a number in an equation. The question mark represents the sum that is not known in this addition equation, or the product that is not known in this multiplication equation. Both equations tell you that Jessie won 24 goldfish.
All right, now that we've gone through part of the lesson together, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the things we're going to write down for our notes. So I'm going to share with you what I've written down while I was listening to the video. So when we write down our notes, the first thing we do is we put our title at the top of our page and we put today's date. So now my title for this lesson is 1-1 relating multiplication and addition. I need to come in a little bit closer so that you guys get a better view of what I'm doing. Now I wrote down multiplication is joining equal groups. Equal is your important word here. If the groups are not equal, we cannot join those groups together. Now we also learned that the names of the different parts of a multiplication equation. So we know the first number is the number of groups. Now our second number tells you how many are in each group. And our last number over here, which is called our product, is how many in all. And we know the product is the answer, oops, to a multiplication problem. Okay, so we know these two numbers, the first two numbers that we're multiplying by each other, we call those factors. We know that the answer is called the product. We know that that first number is the number of groups. So when we were talking about Jessie's goldfish, the first number is how many bags she had. The second number was how many goldfish were in each one of those bags. So these are important things to remember while we go through it. Now we related addition to multiplication when we drew it out. So we drew out everything we knew. And we knew that each group had 8 in it. And here is where we were going to put our answer. Now we were able to write this two different ways. We could either write it as 8 plus 8 plus 8. That's our addition equation. Or we could have written it as 3 times 8. And that's our multiplication equation. Over here, we're going to label these. Now, anytime we're talking about an equation, we're talking about something where we have an unknown number. So we don't know what our answer is. There's a piece of missing information. Now, 8 plus 8 plus 8 can give us 24, or 3 times 8, which means we're counting 8 3 times. 3 times we're going to count or add the number 8, also gives us 24. So our sum to 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. Our product for 3 times 8 is the same thing. It's also 24. Now, once we're done with our notes, we're going to go in and we're going to go ahead and get started with our guided practice questions. So after you complete your notes, and I'll come out a little bit so that you guys can see everything. If you need to pause the video for a moment so you can copy down your notes, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just draw a line. So now you have your examples on top and we can get working on the bottom. So for your guided practice questions, for number 1, it says, can you write 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 20 as a multiplication equation and explain? So yes, We know that we can write 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 as a multiplication equation because we're adding together equal groups. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 20 has equal groups. So it can be written as a multiplication equation. Now, how am I going to do that? So let's count first. Let's see, how many 5s do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 of them. So I can write my multiplication equation as 4 times, so there's 4 times that we're going to count the number 5. So 4 times 5 equals 20. So I gave my written answer first, and then I wrote my number answer. You want to make sure you're always explaining your work. You're explaining your thinking, you're defending your answer. You're not just saying yes or no. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 says, can you write 3 plus 4 plus 7 equals 14 as a multiplication equation? So let's think about that for a moment. 3 plus 4 plus 7 equals 14. Can we write that as a multiplication equation? Now think back to our notes. What is a very important thing that we need to have in order to be able to write a multiplication equation? We need to have equal groups. So 3 and 4 and 7 are not made up of equal groups. So we're going to say 3 plus 4 plus 7 equals 14 cannot be written as a multiplication equation because it is not made up of equal groups. So take a look at my answer here again. I explained my thinking. I didn't just say no, or I didn't just say yes. I explained why I answered the way that I answered, and I showed my work. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 says, Jesse buys 4 packages of stones. There are 6 stones in each package. How many stones does Jesse buy? Use counters to represent the problem, then write an addition equation and a multiplication equation to solve. So we're being asked to do multiple things for this question. So let's take it one step at a time. Now we know that she bought 4 packages of stones. So let me make these are going to be my 4 packages. And we know that there are 6 stones in each package. So I can either do tally marks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or I can just write the number 6 in there. Now, if you don't have counters at home or anything that you can use like beads or coins, you can use tally marks. So it says, how many stones did Jesse buy? So over here, we can either draw it like that. We can draw it out like this. Say there's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups with 6 in each group. We can do, and it wants us to use a multiplication and an addition equation. So we can write our addition and multiplication equations. So we can do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals whatever our mystery answer is. Or we could do 1, 2, 3, 4 times the number 6. So 4 times we're going to count the number 6 to find our answer. So when we add 6 plus 6, we get 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. So 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 is going to give me 24. Or 4 times 6 is also 24. And the answer over here for my drawing is going to be the same. It's also 24. So we answered all the parts of the question. We showed our groups, we showed our addition equation, and we showed our multiplication equation to be able to solve our question. So that takes us to numbers 1 to 3. Let's take a look now at our next question. Let's go over to number 4. Grab another piece of paper. Now for you guys, since you're doing it in your notebooks, you would be using the back side, but because this paper is kind of thin, my ink bled, and I'm using marker pens to make it clear for you guys to see, writing on the back does make it really difficult for you guys to read it later. Now for number 4, it says, use the pictures to help. So I will show you guys the pictures. These are also in your book. So I'm just pulling directly from your book right now. So for number 4 over here, it says complete 4 and 5, use the pictures to help. So over here, it says we have 2 groups of what? So 2 groups with how many in each group? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in this group. 1, 2, 3, 4 in this group. So I have 2 groups of 4. So I'm going to scoot that out of the way for a moment. I'm going to put my number 4 out there in the margin. And I'll just draw it out so that we have the reference here. So I have 2 groups of 4. And then the next part said 4 plus 4 equals something. So we know 4 plus 4 equals 8. And the way we write that as a multiplication is we're going to write 2 groups with 4 in each group. So 2 times we're going to count the number 4. That's also going to give us 8. Now for number 5, we're also using pictures. So this has 3 groups with 6 in each group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So over here, it's asking us how many groups, let me draw a line to separate my questions, how many groups of 6? So I have how many groups of 6? So we can see over here that we have 1, 2, 3 groups of 6. Now to write that as an addition question. So we're going to write 6 plus something equals something. That's how it's written out in your book. So we know it's 6 plus 6 plus 6. And then we're going to find our answer. And then it asks us to write it as a multiplication. 3 times something equals something. So 3 times, we know we're counting 6. So 3 times 6. So 6 plus 6 we know is 12. 12 plus 6 is going to equal 18. And that tells us that 3 times 6 is also equal to 18. Now you can go through and count the individual counters to make sure if you're not sure. Or you could just add them up separately, or you could use your multiplication facts. All of those will work for you. Now the remainder of the questions for numbers 6 through 17 on the following page are all going to be the rest of your assignment. Please make sure you finish those up. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.